India is one of those places that will break your brain in the best possible way. I mean that seriously. There is no country on earth quite like it. And today, I'm going to take you on a journey across this extraordinary land, from snow-capped mountains in the north to tropical beaches in the south, from ancient temples that are older than most civilizations to modern cities pulsing with energy and ambition. By the end of this video, you are either going to book a flight to India, or you are going to sit there wondering why you have not already gone. Either way, your perspective on travel is about to change forever. Before we dive in, I want to set something straight. Most people think they know India. They have seen a Bollywood movie, maybe eaten at an Indian restaurant, maybe scrolled past a photo of the Taj Mahal on Instagram. But that surface-level impression does not even begin to scratch what this country actually is. India is a universe compressed into a single nation. It has 28 states, 8 union territories, over 2,000 ethnic groups, and more than 19,000 languages and dialects. Let me say that again. 19,000. This is not a country you visit once and understand. This is a country that invites you back 100 times and still has secrets to share. So let us start this journey and see what makes India one of the greatest wonders on the planet. We are beginning in the north, and there is really only one place to start. The Himalayas. Now, you have probably seen pictures of the Himalayas before, but nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, prepares you for standing in their presence. These are the highest mountains on Earth, and they stretch across the northern boundary of India like a colossal wall separating the subcontinent from the rest of Asia. When you stand in a place like Ladakh or Spiti Valley and look up at peaks that reach above 7,000 meters, something happens inside you. You feel small. Not in a bad way. In a humbling, soul-resetting kind of way. The air is thin, the silence is immense, and the landscape looks like it belongs on another planet. Rocky desert valleys painted in shades of brown and rust and gold, with rivers of glacial blue cutting through them. Buddhist monasteries perch on cliff edges as though they have been there since the beginning of time, and in some cases they nearly have. Hemis Monastery in Ladakh, for example, dates back to the 11th century. Monks still live and practice there, maintaining traditions that have been passed down for 1,000 years. If you want to experience a kind of peace that modern life almost never offers, the Indian Himalayas are where you find it. But let us come down from the mountains because India has so much more waiting for us. Let us talk about Rajasthan. If the Himalayas are India's spiritual crown, Rajasthan is its jeweled necklace. This is the land of kings and warriors, of massive fortresses and shimmering palaces, of deserts that glow orange under the setting sun. The state is located in northwestern India, and it is one of the most visually stunning places you will ever visit. Start with Jaipur, the capital, known as the Pink City because of the terracotta-colored buildings that line its old town. The Hawa Mahal, or Palace of Winds, is an iconic structure with its honeycomb facade of 953 small windows. It was designed so that the women of the royal court could observe the street below without being seen. Then, there is the Amber Fort, a sprawling hilltop complex that blends Hindu and Mughal architectural styles in a way that will leave your jaw on the floor. Every surface is detailed, every corridor tells a story, and from the ramparts you can see for miles across the Aravalli Hills. Move west from Jaipur, and you reach Jodhpur, the blue city. And yes, it really is blue. The old town is a maze of narrow streets and buildings painted in brilliant shades of indigo and cobalt, all watched over by the imposing Mehrangarh Fort. This fortress is one of the largest in India, and when you stand on its walls looking down at the sea of blue houses below, you genuinely feel like you have stepped into a fantasy novel. Keep going west and you hit the Thar Desert, where you can ride camels across sand dunes as the sun drops below the horizon, and the sky turns into a canvas of pink and purple and deep orange. At night, the desert sky fills with more stars than you thought existed. It is the kind of experience that stays with you long after you leave. Now let us shift gears completely. We are heading south to Kerala, and the contrast could not be more dramatic. Kerala is lush, green, tropical, and serene. This is a state defined by water. Backwater canals weave through palm-lined villages, and the best way to experience them is on a traditional houseboat called a ketuvalam. You drift along these calm waterways, watching life unfold on the banks. Women washing clothes at the water's edge, children waving from bridges, fishermen casting nets in the golden afternoon light. It is slow, it is peaceful, and it is profoundly beautiful. Kerala is also home to some of the finest Ayurvedic wellness traditions in the world. Ayurveda, which literally translates to the science of life, originated in India thousands of years ago and is still practiced with deep expertise here. People travel from all over the globe to Kerala specifically for Ayurvedic treatments, and the experience of being cared for in this ancient system of medicine is something truly special. But we are not done with the south. Let us talk about Tamil Nadu, because this state contains some of the most extraordinary temples on the planet. The Meenakshi Amman temple in Madurai is a masterpiece that defies description, but I will try. Imagine a structure covered, and I mean completely covered, in thousands of brightly painted sculptures of gods, goddesses, mythical creatures, and celestial beings. The gopurams, which are the towering gateway structures, rise up to nearly 50 meters and are so densely decorated that your eyes do not know where to look first. This temple is not just a place of worship. It is a living, breathing work of art that has been continuously used and maintained for centuries. The energy inside is extraordinary. Bells ringing, incense drifting through the air, devotees performing rituals with total concentration and devotion. You do not have to be religious to feel something powerful when you walk through those halls. And speaking of temples, we absolutely have to talk about Varanasi. This is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, and it sits on the banks of the sacred river Ganges in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Varanasi is the spiritual heart of Hinduism, and experiencing it is unlike anything else in travel. And the city is organized around a series of ghats, which are stone steps that lead down to the river. Every morning before dawn, pilgrims descend these ghats to bathe in the Ganges, believing that the water will purify their souls. Every evening, an elaborate ceremony called the Ganga Arti takes place at Dashashwameth Ghat, where priests perform synchronized rituals with fire, incense, and chanting, while thousands of people watch from the steps and from boats on the river. The atmosphere is electric. Candles float on the dark water, smoke curls into the night sky, and the sound of devotional music fills every corner of the ancient city. Varanasi confronts you with the full spectrum of human existence. Birth, death, joy, grief, devotion, and transcendence all exist side by side here, out in the open, with no attempt to hide any of it. It is raw, it is intense, and it will change the way you think about life. Now let us talk about something that every traveler to India anticipates, and rightfully so. The food. Indian cuisine is arguably the most complex and varied culinary tradition on earth. Every region, every state, every city has its own specialties, its own spice combinations, its own cooking techniques. In the north, you have rich, creamy curries like butter chicken and dal makhani, tandoori breads pulled hot from clay ovens, and street food like chayat that hits your taste buds with sweet, sour, spicy, and tangy all at once. In the south, the flavors shift entirely. Rice replaces wheat as the staple, and you encounter dishes like dosa, which is a crispy fermented crepe served with coconut chutney, and sambar, or appam, a bowl-shaped pancake made from rice batter and coconut milk. In Bengal, the cuisine revolves around fish and mustard, and the sweets are legendary. Rasgulla, sandesh, mishti doi. If you have a sweet tooth, Bengal is paradise. In Gujarat, the food is predominantly vegetarian and features an incredible balance of flavors that makes you forget you are not eating meat. And then there is the street food culture, which deserves its own entire video. From the Pani Puri stalls of Mumbai, to the kebab vendors of Lucknow, to the filter coffee shops of Chennai, eating your way through India is one of the great adventures a human being can have. Let us circle back to architecture, because I have not yet mentioned the single most famous structure in India, the Taj Mahal. You might think you know what it looks like from photographs, but I promise you, seeing it in person is a completely different experience. The Taj Mahal was built in the 17th century by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a mausoleum for his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth. It took over 20 years and 20,000 workers to complete, and the result is what many people consider the most beautiful building ever created by human hands. The white marble changes color throughout the day. At dawn it appears pinkish, at noon it blazes white, and under moonlight it takes on a soft, ethereal glow. The symmetry is perfect. The inlaid gemstone work is breathtaking. The gardens that surround it are designed to represent paradise. Standing before it, you understand why it is considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. It is not just a monument to love. It is a monument to what human beings are capable of when they pour everything they have into creating something magnificent. But India's architectural wonders extend far beyond the Taj Mahal. Consider the cave temples of Ajanta and Ellora in Maharashtra. These are not buildings constructed from the ground up. These are entire temples carved directly into solid rock faces. The Ellora complex contains 34 caves spanning Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain traditions, and the crown jewel is the Kailasa temple, which is the largest monolithic rock excavation in the world. Engineers estimate that approximately 200,000 tons of rock were removed to create this single structure. 200,000 tons, carved from the top down, without any of the modern tools or technology we take for granted today. When you stand inside it and look at the intricate carvings and massive columns and detailed sculptures, you are struck by a kind of awe that is hard to articulate. How did they do this? The answer is patience, skill, and an unwavering commitment to creating something that would last for eternity. And it has lasted. These caves are over 1,000 years old, and they remain some of the most impressive achievements in the history of human art and engineering. Let me take you somewhere unexpected now. The Northeast. This is the part of India that most international travelers overlook entirely, and honestly, that is a shame, because it is absolutely stunning. The seven sister states of the Northeast, which include Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam, are home to landscapes and cultures that feel worlds apart from the rest of India. Meghalaya, whose name means the abode of clouds, receives some of the highest rainfall on Earth and is covered in lush subtropical forests. Here you will find the famous living root bridges, which are exactly what they sound like. Bridges made from the roots of living trees, carefully guided and shaped over decades by the Khasi people until they form structures strong enough to carry 50 or more people at a time. These bridges are not ancient relics, they are ongoing acts of cooperation between human communities and the natural world, and some of them are over 500 years old and still growing. Nagaland, meanwhile, offers a window into tribal cultures that have maintained distinct identities for centuries. The Hornbill Festival, held every December, is a celebration of Naga heritage featuring traditional dances, music, crafts, and food from all the major tribes of the state. It is vibrant, it is authentic, and it is one of the most unique cultural experiences available anywhere in Asia. Speaking of culture, we need to talk about India's festivals because this country celebrates like no other. Diwali, the festival of lights, transforms the entire nation into a spectacle of illumination. Homes, streets, and public spaces are decorated with millions of oil lamps and candles, fireworks light up the sky, and families come together to share sweets and gifts. Holi, the festival of colors, is pure joyful chaos. People take to the streets armed with colored powders and water guns, and within minutes everyone is drenched in every color imaginable. It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or what language you speak. During Holi, you are part of the celebration. Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Durga Puja in West Bengal, Onam in Kerala, Baisakhi in Punjab. The list goes on and on. India has festivals for every season, every region, every community, and participating in even one of them will give you a glimpse into the incredible warmth and generosity of the Indian people. And that brings me to something I think is the most underappreciated wonder of India, the people themselves. Indian hospitality is legendary, and once you experience it, you understand why. There is a concept in Indian culture captured by the Sanskrit phrase Atiti Devo Bhava, which translates roughly to the guest is equivalent to God. This is not just a nice saying, it is a deeply held value that you encounter constantly as a traveler. Strangers will invite you into their homes for tea. Shopkeepers will spend an hour telling you the history of their craft even if you do not buy anything. Families will go out of their way to help you find your destination, sometimes walking with you for blocks to make sure you do not get lost. The warmth is genuine, it is generous, and it creates connections that last far beyond the trip itself. Now, I want to address something honestly because I think it is important for anyone considering traveling to India. This country can be overwhelming. The sensory input is relentless, the traffic is chaotic, the noise is constant, the heat in summer can be brutal. There are moments where you will feel confused, exhausted, or out of your depth. I am not going to pretend otherwise. But here is what I have learned. That discomfort is part of the transformation. India does not let you stay in your comfort zone. It pushes you, challenges you, surprises you, and ultimately expands you. Every traveler I have ever spoken to who has been to India says the same thing. It changed them. Not in a small way, in a fundamental, lasting way. The things that once seemed important seem less so. The things you took for granted suddenly feel precious. India has this remarkable ability to strip away the superficial and show you what really matters. Let us visit one more place before we wrap up. Goa. This small state on India's western coast is famous for its beaches, and for good reason. Palm-fringed stretches of golden sand meet the warm waters of the Arabian Sea, and the vibe ranges from lively and party-oriented in the north to peaceful and secluded in the south. But Goa is more than just beaches. Its history as a Portuguese colony for over 400 years has left a fascinating cultural imprint. You will find Baroque churches, old Latin Quarter neighborhoods with colorful colonial-era houses, and a cuisine that blends Indian spices with Portuguese techniques in ways that are absolutely delicious. Goan fish curry, vindaloo, bibinka. The food alone is worth the visit. And then there are the sunsets. Goan sunsets over the Arabian Sea are the kind of thing that makes you stop whatever you are doing, put down your phone, and just watch. The sky turns molten, the water catches fire, and for a few minutes the entire world seems to hold its breath. India is also a place of extraordinary wildlife. The country is home to Bengal tigers, Asian elephants, one-horned rhinoceroses, snow leopards, Asiatic lions, and thousands of bird species. National parks like Ranthambore in Rajasthan, Jim Corbett in Uttarakhand, and Kaziranga in Assam offer opportunities to see these magnificent animals in their natural habitats. There is something incredibly moving about watching a wild tiger walk through the tall grass of an Indian forest, unhurried and powerful, completely at home in a landscape that has been its domain for millennia. Conservation efforts in India have achieved remarkable successes in recent decades, with tiger populations recovering significantly thanks to dedicated protection programs. The relationship between India and its wildlife is ancient and complex, reflected in mythology, art, and daily life across the country.